name is Christine Doolan. I'm Southern Arrender. My family come from the Northern Territory, and I was taken from the hospital, Queen Victoria Hospital, and I was basically just taken from my mother, just like that. I think my family were expecting me to be brought up by my grandmother in Port Augusta, but the welfare stepped in. They already had me on their books, like while my mother was pregnant. So it was already planned before that day. And I think because you're Aboriginal and you're from the Northern Territory as a traditional woman, you wouldn't have had much to say. It was confusing. It felt really unnatural. It's not natural when you're surrounded by a lot of people not your colour. Plus, I was so young when I was put in that home that I just basically blended. The love was there, but it wasn't, it was different. It's like strangers. And then you just rock up and you're just like bombarded with this community that doesn't know you existed. I've lost 20 years of my life basically knowing my culture, knowing who I am, understanding what my life is about, understanding too that there was a history behind our removals. So, you know, all the losses and the grief then, I now have to pick up the pieces now. And that's why I feel like sometimes I just started living at 20. And then as I got older, I started realising I need to put this into action because I need to know what happened. If I don't know, how am I supposed to go out there and deal with it? So culture came, I don't have that cultural background like my people do. I still got to go through business, or I've still got to be invited to go through. Yeah, it's a process. Well, it's the first thing you need to do is educate yourself. You cannot just understand Aboriginal people without having first knowledge about the history of what people did when they got to this country, white people. And then from there, you just got to learn that the laws that were put in place were basically to get rid of us. A year after my birth, I became a human being. So that Flora and Fauna Act was that was a real act. We were named Flora and Fauna. We were under trees and, you know, we were seen as animals or plants. So imagine that, being told you weren't even a citizen of your own country, but you also weren't human. It's not going to heal until everybody comes together. I mean, this park here is a healing spot, you know, it's a healing area, and I've seen it on sorry days. We've had hundreds of people come here, and people are sharing their same feelings of being supportive. That's, you know, just be in our space and find out what it feels like. When I grew up, I wish my family had had more of an understanding of where I was coming from as an Aboriginal kid. And as I got older, they still didn't understand it because they didn't know the history. They just believed what they were told. So for us to have people sharing our history, understanding it, that is so important, because I can feel a lot better if somebody knows who I am from not just being Aboriginal, but just being me. If you don't know us, ask us. There's no harm in saying, look, I don't understand. Putting us in positions where we've got some kind of power to help other people learn how to work with us. They need to also add a bit more funding to places like this. Healing centres, I mean, they should be putting things in place that are going to be directly affecting the community, not just fixing it up. It's got to be a long-term situation. You know, you can't change tens of generations in just 1 year. It's got to be every year. We actually hold it in our hearts, in our souls, who we are as Aboriginal people. Healing brings us all together, so as a group of people, race of people, or human race, it's part of looking after your fellow man, isn't it?